longest running segment in the Let's Talk Football Roundtable. It is now time for Diversity with Delilah. And this week, Delilah brings us Charles Haley. Delilah, take it away, my dear.
All right. Charles Haley, he's a Virginia boy. He attended William Campbell High School in Aruna, Virginia, where he actually was a 3-year starter for the football team while he played linebacker and tight end. As a senior, he received Defensive Player of the Year honors, all Region 3 and all Group AA accolades, while helping the team win the Seminole District Championship. He also played basketball and was all-district selection. So, started off his football career early, but also was playing basketball. But even though he had all these accolades, he actually wasn't highly recruited. And so he accepted a scholarship from JMU, James Madison University in Harrisburg, Virginia, which at the time was the only Division 1A or a 1AA school that actually made an offer. The reason is because the JMU assistant coach, Danny Wilmer, he said, "I was watching the Rustburg High School William Campbell game, and I couldn't believe no one was there recruiting. I was worried the big name programs would be there, but they were nowhere to be seen. You could look at Charles and see he could play in the NFL. I could see it immediately. He made every tackle." So he was very fortunate that a scout was there, right? And that he was the assistant coach for JMU that actually saw the potential in him. And so that's one of the reasons he had that scholarship and that offer. So in 82, he was named a starter at defensive end and linebacker as a freshman. He posted 85 tackles, second on the team, 5 sacks, 6 passes, defense, and 4 fumbles. So that was his freshman year. In 83, he was moved to inside linebacker, where he made 143 tackles. He led that team that year, had 4 sacks, and as a junior, he tallied 147 tackles, also led the team, 3 sacks and 2 interceptions. In his final year, he was switched back to outside linebacker for the last 4 games, registering 131 tackles, 5 quarterback sacks, and 3 block kicks and 1 interception. Haley was a 2-time Division IAA and All-American. He finished his college career with 506 tackles. It's a school record, 17 sacks, and 3 interceptions. Midway again, like I said, in 1985 game, in a 21-6 win over the eventual national champion Georgia Southern, Haley blocked a punt to set up a touchdown and cause a fumble, had a quarterback sack, deflected 3 passes, and then he is a member of Xi Delta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. I love anytime guys pop up that are fraternities, I love mentioning it because I know Anthony loves it.
That's right.
And honestly, this is all by chance, because I'm just doing some research, and it's just by chance. A lot of the last few guys have been in fraternities. So Haley was selected by the San Francisco 49ers in the 4th round. He ended up being 96th overall in the 1986 draft. He dropped because initially he was timed at 4.8 seconds in the 40-yard dash, even though later the Niners scout actually clocked him at 4.55. But we know how that goes, right? When you're at the combine, sometimes things happen and your numbers kind of drop. But so that's why he went a little lower. With the 49ers, he played outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. He finished second behind Leslie O'Neal for rookies with 12 sacks and was voted to the NFL All-Rookie team by Pro Football Weekly and the United Press International. The following year, he played again in a designated pass rusher role, coming into the game in passing situations where he made 25 tackles and 6.5 sacks. In 88, he was named a starter at left outside linebacker, where he registered 69 tackles, 11.5 sacks, and would hold that spot through the 91 season. The next year, he tallied 57 tackles and 10.5 sacks. So, already off to a good start, right? And we already know about these San Francisco championships that are coming up that he was a part of. So again, in 1990, Haley had 58 tackles, 9 passes defense. Was third in the league at the time with 16 sacks. He was voted to the UPI NFC Defensive Player of the Year and was consensus All-Pro. In 91, that's kind of when his relationship, I guess, with the 49ers started deteriorating. Even though he still recorded 53 tackles, he still has 6 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, 7 sacks, tying for the team lead with Larry Roberts. So again, while he was with the 49ers from 1986 to 91, he led the team in sacks every season. And of course, he was part of Super Bowl 23, where they beat the Bengals 20-16, and Super Bowl 24, where they beat the Broncos 55-10. So that's where he earned his first 2 Super Bowl wins. In 92, again, that's when he ended up being that's when he really had a problem with George Safer at the time, and so they traded him to the Dallas Cowboys. And they traded him in exchange for a 93 second round selection, which at the time was number 56 Vincent Brisby, and a 1994 third round selection, which at the time was number 99 Alej Kalanivalu. I think I said his name wrong.
Okay,
so that's why that's what they traded him to the Cowboys for. So in 92, he ended up being a right defensive end in the Dallas Cowboys 4-3 defense, where he made 39 tackles, 6 sacks, and 42 quarterback pressures. He led the team at the time and helped the team improve from a 17th in total defense in 91 to first. He won UPI NFC Defensive Player of the Year award and was consensus All-Pro again. He had a bit of a temper. In 93, he made headlines after smashing his helmet through a concrete wall in the locker room following a home loss to the Buffalo Bills, because at the time they couldn't get Emmitt Smith to sign, right, with the Cowboys. He's like, what are we doing? We're 0-2 right now. And so that was part of his anger. But as we know, the Cowboys figured it out. And so the Cowboys won the Super Bowl in 93. They beat the Bills 52-17. But in 94, that's when he started having some injuries. He had a off-season surgery, a lumbar microdiscotomy. But during that time, he still posted 68 tackles, 12 and a half sacks, and 52 quarterback pressures. But then after they lost, he kind of retired. You know how some players did that. So he retired. But then he came back after he was offered a new contract. In 95, he posted 10 and a half sacks, 33 quarterback pressures, and 35 tackles in the first 10 games, until suffering a ruptured disc against the Washington Commanders, which is where it derailed his career, or his season anyway. So again, just, that's kind of when he started suffering some of those injuries. He did start in the Super Bowl 6 weeks after having that back surgery, but in that time, he only managed 1 sack and 3 quarterback pressures. After the 95 season, because of the back injuries, and at the time, his youngest daughter, Brianna, was diagnosed with leukemia, he decided to retire. So that's when he took some time off. But again, Charles Haley is a 5-time, Super Bowl champ. He got 2 with the San Francisco 49ers and 3 with the Cowboys. He did return after a 2-year hiatus. He re-signed with the 49ers as backup, and for 2 playoff games in 98. And then just 99 was kind of where he officially retired. So he walked away for a final time where he amassed 100.5 sacks during his 169-game career. During that time, he won NFC Defensive Player of the Year twice, in 90 and 94. He was voted to 5 Pro Bowls and named All-Pro 2 times, once as a linebacker and once as a defensive end. So again, Haley was a member of 10 division championship teams during his 12th season. His final season again marked the only year he played with a losing record. So it's the only time he played for a team that had a losing record at that time. Prior to that, the fewest number of wins in a season any 49ers and Cowboys team recorded with Haley on the roster was 10. He made the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor in 2011. He's in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 2006. He was inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame in 2011. And he was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2015. Right now, he doesn't do too much. He does do some, he does kind of still go between the 49ers and the Cowboys and does some mentoring with, the younger guys. No, you were at the Commander's Den. But I'm going to be a reporter and just report the name as is.
That's right. Tell him, Delilah, it's my segment. I'll call him what I want.
Well, that's the only reason. So anyway, but no, so again, Charles Haley. So he's still around. He's doing some mentoring for the younger guys that come into the league. And apparently he kind of moves between the 49ers and the Cowboys and stuff like that. So there you go. Thanks, Nate, for the recommendation.
There you go.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Right, there we are. Charles Haley, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Delilah. Again, longest running segment we have here on Let's